Hey everyone, welcome to season 3 of Crypto City. Super excited to be bringing you this show from VR Chat this season. We're doing a little tour around the metaverse, kind of. We started out in alt space and then we made it through to spatial, and now we've landed here in VRC. I'd like to thank all of you who have been with us since the beginning. I see so many faces out here that came from AltSpace, and I appreciate all of you that have followed us through. And I'm super excited for the new faces that I see here that, this is your first time coming to the show. So we hope that you'll find this, very educational, and maybe you'll learn a few things that can help you along on your journey. And at the very least, we hope you find it entertaining with the people that we're bringing on to share their journey with you. A lot of them are going to be sharing their personal VR journey along with their IRL experiences and kind of the overlap between the two of them. And I just want to take a moment to thank all those people who have been part of the team along the way. Blue Moon and Sherwin, Pixel Addict, Miggy Celis, Stovert, and now we've added Loudfire and Wine Chick to our team. And I'm really excited for this season because without all of you and your support, we wouldn't be able to keep this show going each week. So thank you very much to those of you who have been part of the team. Full of changes this season. First, you're going to notice this beautiful new studio that we have. This was created by Kipp VR. During the off season, we went through some renovations, and the very talented Kipp, who will be with us actually in just a few minutes, has created this studio for us. Keeping this cyber feel and giving us some cool new views. Hopefully you'll enjoy this new home space with us. A second change that we've made this season is we're actually expanding our topics. So we're still going to talk about Web3 and crypto and NFTs and utility and, blockchain and all of that. But we're also going to add in a little bit more about all things metaverse and VR, and hoping this will not only broaden our guests that we bring on, but it'll also be of interest to more of the community. So hopefully we'll see more of you coming in here to learn about some new things. And as always, if you have a topic that you would like to focus on or a guest that you think would be of interest, or even if it's yourself, please let me know. And you can always find me here in VRC, or you can also DM me on Instagram, Facebook, or on our Discord. And there's so many things that happened over the summer break while we were gone. I'm not going to be able to touch on all of them, but I just, high level here. Let's start with one of the most incredible yet highly controversial topics, AI. It's becoming so commonplace and used regularly by both individuals and businesses, whether it's for getting a quick answer in copywriting with like ChatGPT, research with Consensus and Elicit, or creating artwork with like Playground AI or Midjourney, and creating whole websites from just a few words of text with Wix. It's becoming a go-to staple for most. And that said, the government is stepping in with all types of regulation issues and warnings for the entities who are creating these generators. So between the SEC and the FTC, they're watching all of this closely. Strict regulations are coming. And once again, once they get their hands wrapped around it, there's definitely going to be some highs and lows for everybody who's using it regularly. So, enjoy it, run with it, learn it, because it is still the way of the future. And they just trying to figure out how to regulate it in a way that keeps people safe with their personal information, but also allows for the incredible things that it can actually do for us. So there are definitely people in power who are supporters, and the next 6 months are going to be really interesting, I think. And kind of piggybacking off of that, after the beginning of their rollout of Windows 11 using Copilot as a replacement for Cortana and integrating AI with the OS, Microsoft is taking a big stance in the AI arena. They even partnered up with Meta and teamed up with a large language model, Llama 2, used for AI, and incorporated it into Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is one of the most popular remote business applications. I actually use it every day in my regular job to, remote desktop into via VPN for work. It's actually so interesting that they made it open source as well. So it's going straight up against other competitors like Mosaic. So we'll definitely have some AI-based episodes coming up in Crypto City because I do find it extremely interesting. And also it's going to affect a lot of our business work going forward. We could probably do a whole season of Crypto City just on AI alone with all the facets that it has involved in it. Cryptocurrencies had its ups and downs this summer. Once again, governmental regulations and rulings have had major impacts in some cases, which is kind of keeping it up and down and keeping the bear market in check. We're going to have Miggy Sellis on in 2 weeks to give us some of his insight into that. And in VR, we've seen a ton of creativity across the social metaverse platforms, with many of the alt space world builders finding their new playgrounds, and most have grown their skills cross platforms. Some of our known favorites from alt space like Artsy and Crook and Matty Boy brought their favorite worlds over into spatial and VR chat. Others like Cyber Shay and Cool Vibes have really gone in and honed their skills to master Horizon worlds. In that uses a whole different technical way of creation that veers from the Unity platform that most people are used to. And there's still others like DJ Marcus, who was a guest last season. He's continued to learn building with Blender along with his Unity and bringing us some great community venues. Along those lines, it's time to bring out our special guest this week, Kipp VR. Kipp, please join us on stage. Ooh, I like how you just appeared there like a little genie out of a bottle. Welcome. I think you're muted.
I sure am.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Thank you for this incredible world that you've built for Crypto City. Please take a seat on your couch.
Oh, you are so welcome. You are so welcome. You are so welcome.
So,
I had to hook you up.
You did. And not only did you hook me up with this world, but also with this avatar that you see that I'm wearing. This was also a Kipp special. So you're well known throughout VR for the work that you do, but also because you have been such a great community builder, for the people within all of these games and social apps. You bring people together. So tell us a little bit about your background and what initially brought you into the virtual reality community.
Okay, well, my background is mainly in music. I've been a engineer for a little bit over close to about 20 years now. I've worked with a lot of different artists within the industry and everything, and so I've always had like a technical background, computer savvy, and things of that nature. And I came into VR basically. I seen the headset for sale, and I picked it up for just for gaming. And when I first came in, I was playing this little kid game called Gun Raiders, and this other one called Super Hot. And along those lines, I was watching this series called Sword Art Online. Yeah, that's it. And they said they was coming out with a game that was similar to that called Zenith. So I ended up getting Zenith, and I was playing the mess out of Zenith, man. And then ended up running into some people from Metaculture that was in this group called the Cookout, this guild called the Cookout. So I ended up linking up with Poe, Black Coffee, Major, Sasha on VR. And so Poe told me about Altspace, and I came over here one time with Poe to watch a movie. Her, a couple other friends and stuff. And so at first I wasn't quite taken by Altspace. I guess it's because we was in that one space and stuff. And so I was like, oh, I want to get back to gaming. And then so next thing you know, Sasha on VR ends up bringing me over to Altspace because she wanted me to see Freestyle Power Hour. So I came over to Altspace, ended up going to Freestyle Power Hour, and after that, I was hooked. I used to wonder why Moshe was always over here and stuff, and so I was always over there. You know what I'm saying? But now I see why, and so I've just been on it ever since, and things kind of took off from there.
I love that. I actually met you initially in Zenith. I was stuck
That
trying
is
to
correct.
solve a world, and you helped me get to the top of that level and save the day. Thank you.
Yo, I helped a lot of people on Zenith, man. You know, so I'm kind of like the tier the tier king over there and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So what she's talking
Absolutely.
about is in this massive world, there are like 9 different sections of in this game and stuff, but there are like 215 tiers scattered throughout the entire land. And so eventually I found them all, ended up remembering where all of them were. So I used to take people on these huge ass tier runs and stuff to find these tiers. So yeah. It was
That was
fun.
a
It was
lot of
fun. A lot of
fun.
fun.
Yeah. And once again, that goes back to how helpful you've been within the community. You kind of took people in, had a lot of patience. God love you for the patience that you have. And you bring people together to get them to continue enjoying the experience. So now you came into alt space, you saw the worlds that were going on there. You saw, like you said, Power Hour and all the different things. And, after visiting, like, what sparked your interest to say, hey, I think I could do something like this. Maybe I want to start building.
Well, actually, it wasn't it wasn't alt space that really sparked my passion for building.
Okay.
One thing I did fail to mention is that before I came over to alt space, I used to be in VR chat a lot. I did. Now I did come
Oh,
back and forth to VR chat before I came over to alt space in between Zenith and stuff, and met a couple of people on here. Went to hundreds of worlds and stuff, and I was wondering, how did they build this? Did they have like game developers that was coming in here building this stuff? And people was telling me, no, it's creators, it's users that's doing it. And so I I didn't, but however, it didn't really click until I came over to AltSpace. Once I got to AltSpace and I seen like because as you know, AltSpace uses a different type of rendering engine than VR chat does. You know what I'm saying? They use something called Universal
hmm
Render Pipeline that allows for like a different depth of quality. You know what I'm saying? So once I seen that, it was those two combined, and so I went on a learning journey. Took 30 days away and learned Blender in 30 days, roughly about 30 days, and
Wow.
started building. I started watching videos
Impressive.
sometime in May of last year, and I did my first build in June. And since then,
Okay.
I've been just building.
So we have some of your work up here on the screen. You can see this is a world you actually built for me in Spatial. So you've been actually building across multiple platforms. So you've been building in Spatial and VR chat. Now
Yes,
they're a little bit different, correct? So are you
yes.
kind of flipping between different versions? And I know that Unity is kind of the thing that blends everything together to bring it in, or I should say Unity unifies. But so what are the I mean, not technically, but what are the differences between them? Is it very drastic for your brain to switch gears from building a spatial world to a VR chat world, or is it something that once you learn the technology, it's applied in both areas, just in different ways?
Well, in Unity,
Okay.
it's applied the same. Don't get me wrong. But each platform uses a different developer's kit, like a SDK, and the materials may be slightly different depending on the SDK. The level of scripting is a lot different. You may have Spatial that uses its own type of scripting. Then you got VR Chat that uses Udon, and then you had AltSpace, which used a very minimalist when it comes to scripting for like the MREs and stuff, because Microsoft was worried about like a lot of security breaches and stuff like that.
Mm.
It's also kind of like when you spawn into a world and then you go into your list and you have to select untrusted URLs to allow that, of certain information being able to be
hmm
retrieved and stuff. So yeah, the scripting is very different, depending on the platform. The materials don't really change, but when it comes to actually building, if the same way that I would build for Spatial, I can build for VR chat. It's just when it comes to using their assets. like teleporting or, for an asset that you may put in the world or something.
Now, this one up on the screen we have here, this world actually exists in both spatial and VR chat. So you created the world and then transferred it into both platforms?
Yes. Well, actually, this world right here exists on 3 platforms currently. It's also in
Oh,
Utopia
okay.
VR. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I've been building over on the behind the scenes with Utopia VR. James is working on a platform that it's going to be once everything comes together, it's going to be a very advanced platform. So
Nice.
right
Nice.
now, they're kind of getting things together, but yeah, this place right here is on 3 different platforms. It was just a favorite of mine. Quiet,
It's a great
small,
world. I love it. It's very pretty.
relaxing.
For those of you who would like to visit this world at some point, what is the name of it, Kip? How can they see it if they search for it?
I have a funny way of naming stuff. It was a round bill, so I just call it well-rounded. Just yeah, it's well-rounded. You know what I'm saying? So just look that up.
So for those of you who have been with Crypto City for a while, last season we did have James from Utopia on. Utopia is yet another metaverse platform, which also is, a social app that has different worlds within it that you can visit as well. So it's really interesting to know that you're building over there as well. So you've definitely spread yourself out so that you're, capturing all audiences with your beautiful work. That's wonderful. I think we have a few other pictures that we from a few other worlds that I have in the slides. Oh, this one's a lot of fun.
You've been doing a little world hopping. Okay, then
I've been stalking you a little. This one's called End of Days or End of All Days. This one is
this is the end of all things. Yeah.
End of all things.
This world right here is
apocalyptic.
Is close to me because I built this world for the end of days of alt space. You know what I'm saying? This world I ported over from alt space. So when you first spawn into the world, you come into you come into the picture on the left where it's kind of like a little relaxing kind of little chill area. But when you come upstairs, you realize that you're on an asteroid that's barreling towards the planet. You know what I'm saying? The planet representing all space, and we're Microsoft. So yeah, it's
comforting.
It's nice
so comforting. Gives you that warm fuzzy. Hey, look at that coming for me. Actually, you've had some good parties at that location, though. I know I've been there.
Yes,
it's fun. It's a beautiful world. So that one, now you brought that over from AltSpace to VR chat, but that's only in the platform right now?
Yes, it's only on well, as a matter of fact, I believe this is on Utopia VR as well. I ported a couple of worlds over there before I really settled into VR chat. So I was kind of between Utopia and spatial and stuff, and then once we started having a lot of the issues that we had over on spatial and stuff, I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait till they work this platform out, and I just came over here to VR chat. Been here ever since.
Now, you talked about earlier, learning some of the scripting and Udon scripting. Now, what is scripting versus like you using Unity to create the whole world? You're using Blender for some of the aspects within the world. What is Udon scripting?
Ooh, man, okay.
In layman's terms.
I don't know a lot about Udon. I've been doing a lot of tutorials, however, on Udon is more of a it's you have 2 of them. You have the Udon visual scripting, then you have Udon Sharp. Udon Sharp is a well, in my own meaning, it's a way of converting a C# script to be Udon compatible. So and then with the regular Udon visual, it's more like a visual scripter to where you're connecting like Udon noodles. The noodles that you eat is the same thing. You got a box, and then you're connecting noodles of certain logic points. Points of logic and stuff to add functionality to a asset or something you may have in your world.
Only person in the world who could make world creating make us hungry. Okay. Some noodles. So let's look at another world that you've created here just recently. This is the launch of VR 105. This is a new radio station. So this world has several levels and all different aspects of a radio station. You've got, the offices, the studio, a nice little function room. So this one you just created recently, and that is right now strictly in VR chat, correct? Or is that also branching out?
Well,
Okay.
this particular bill right here is in VR chat, but we do have plans of porting it over to spatial.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
So now for people who are potentially interested, like seeing your work and saying, oh, I want to do something like that, you said I took 30 days off and I went and learned Blender. Do you suggest people, taking a step away, focusing on what it is to learn, maybe doing YouTube tutorials, maybe visiting a website like Aussie Guy 92, different resources.
Aussie Guy's that man.
Yeah,
Aussie,
he's coming on next week, people.
Yeah, Aussie's that guy. All right. But what I would suggest is now if you have the time to step away and learn, then by all means, what I'm saying, do that. If you consider you don't have to be tech savvy, what I'm saying, none of that stuff. There are tutorials out here at YTU, YouTube University, what I'm saying, that help you do everything. I think almost in every build that I do, I eventually have to take, depending on what I want to do, I might have to take like some type of tutorial or do some type of tutorial because it's something that I've never done in a build before. And that's what I try to do with each build that I do. I try to do something that I've never done before. So when I took the tutorial, the guy's the channel's name is Stream Scholar, like streaming, like Stream Scholar, and he has 10 videos, just 10 videos. Only went through like 8 of them, and those 8 videos I watched them for about 2 weeks straight. Watch the videos just like I was binging a TV show. I didn't try to do anything in Blender or none of that. I just watched the videos, and then about after I watched them a couple of times, then I dove in, but when I dove in and I started messing around with the interface, it came to me easily because I was watching the videos instead of just trying to do it right out the gate. I just watched the videos first, then came back. And it just came to me. And all you're doing is making a trophy. But in the process of making that trophy, you start to see your creativity expand because you know what you're doing and what you could use this particular thing for. So yeah, it just came to me. And after I did that tutorial, I tried making a world, and my first world that I made is actually on this platform. First world I made. It's not all that, but it's my first one. You know what I'm saying? And
no, that's awesome. For any of you who are interested in learning more, I'm going to post in our Discord later these things that we're talking about. So that link to the YouTube that we were just discussing, we'll put that in there. We're also going to give you some links to follow up with Kipp afterwards as well, to follow him on Instagram, see some of his work. If you're in here in VR chat and you would like to see some of his work, you can go in and search for Kipp, and it will actually pop up a bunch of worlds that he has created. That's how I did my little tour earlier and got some pictures. So you can check things out like that. If you're friends with Kipp, obviously, you can check with him to find out what is new, any new worlds that he has published that you can go check out. But we do have, this segues kind of into something very special that you have released recently. If we can fast forward the slide. This is the complex. I used the generic pictures in a couple from my unit. So for those of you who are in the complex, which there's several of you here in the audience that I can see, you know how amazing this is. Kipp has built a community for the community. So he has 8-unit condo buildings, and there's multiples of them because there's that many people who have wanted to be part of this. And he has created 8 individual units within each building, and the people who are part of his Patreon are able to go in and have those units customized with colors and photos and textures. And it's just absolutely incredible what we've been able to accomplish in there because of Kipp. We have individuality within an actual, each unit has all the same fixings, but each one looks completely and totally different. He allowed us to customize it to show who we are and to bring a bunch of us together so that we all have a place to hang out. We have movie nights and everything. You can see, I used building 1. There's actually 3 buildings right now. Building 1 has around the little koi pond, there's this big seating arrangement, and even customize the pillows to match the individual people. We have screens that pop up so we can watch movies. In building 2, they have a beautiful tiki bar in the center, and they also have screens to watch movies. Within the technology, explain how you set it up with the different video players so that people can actually be watching movies, and how does that function?
Okay, so with the video player that I went with, I spoke to Chris NYC, and Chris NYC came to me a couple of months ago, and he said, I found this player, to where you can stream like your desktop into your worlds and stuff. And so coming from Altspace, that is one of the main things that we enjoyed about Altspace, being able to just seamlessly share our desktop, and so I wanted to bring that to our community over here in VR chat, and to also the other VR chatters that's on this platform that are not aware of its capabilities. So with this player, you can create endless channels. Basically, it can go up to almost, I think, like 100 channels, and each person can come into the same world. And if they have like a third-party app streamer, such as like OBS or Prism Live, you're able to stream your desktop into the world alongside someone else that's streaming into the world, and each person can watch their own individual channels. So we could literally have all 8 people in the world watching their own movie at the same time without no degradation of performance or anything like that. So it's really a good technology. I know as over time,
That's
as
amazing.
time goes along, they're going to enhance it. But for right now, you know what I'm saying? It's definitely been a game changer. It's been a game changer.
It's amazing. And it's allowed for entertainment nights that, have been so much fun. And you're very busy working on all of your builds. Those of us who are in the Patreon, we get the benefits of that, which is really cool. Tell people about your Patreon and how they can join that, and what are the benefits and the tiers that you have in there.
Well, there are multiple tiers of my Patreon. You can find it by going to www.patreon.com/Kipp VR. Same as my name tag, but without the underscore. I have now, with the complex, there are 3 tiers in the complex: tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, whatever fits your budget. I also have my Kipp VR Bills tier, which is it's a lower tier, but what it allows you to do is any community world that I build, if I build a private room in there or anything of that nature, anyone that's on that tier, they have access to those private rooms. Then I have a level 1 VIP tier that not only allows you to the benefits of the VR builds, but also like any club spaces that I build that requires VIP access. You have unlimited VIP access to those areas as well. Then I have the Elite VIP, which allows you all of the benefits of the first, but also it includes any if you want to get a space in the complex, or if you want to get a space in the premium community worlds that I'll be building as well, which they're not so to speak, condominiums, but they're like individual homes and stuff all in one world. You'll have access to that. Then the next tier is the SkySong tier. The SkySong FBT tier is a tier I've created for a full body tracking lounge that I've created for that's Quest and PC compatible. Now, a lot of you that are on your Quest, you see, people, moving around in full body tracking and stuff like that. But a lot of the worlds that they're in, like the clubs and stuff like that, you don't have access to because it's a PC only world. But I have created Okay, I froze up there for a second. So I've created a Quest and PC compatible full body tracking lounge where you can come and get all of that. But there's also private rooms that you would have to be on the Patreon tier to access those rooms for a little bit of more crazier privacy that I really can't talk about right now. But that
It's a
world will
family
be
show.
releasing probably about a month or two. But yeah. Yep. But those are the tiers, though. You can, once again, you can look them up at www.patreon.com/Kipp VR, KIPP VR.
Okay. So there's a couple other things that you've been doing in here that pretty interesting. I think we have a slide of these shoes that you've created, a shoe line. So this is basically like Gumroad. I've been told is a site for developers to be able to create wearables and things. Is that correct?
Yes. Gumroad. Well, Gumroad is you can find almost anything on Gumroad from books to 3D assets to graphic design to different brushes for different programs. Like any you can pretty much find anything for creatives on Gumroad. So I've been using it to promote my shoe line, as well as I will be having uploading more assets such as furniture and bills and stuff as well, like little template bills that people can purchase and and deck out however they would like to.
Really beautiful. I mean, I've seen like the full line is absolutely gorgeous. I know some of you in here actually have some of these shoes. They're absolutely stunning to see on the avatars. Now, the other thing that you do in here, which is interesting, is you created a world for the sampler. And that is a musical competition. And you actually were part of the competition at the beginning when it started. You were helping out, with you were building the world and helping with that end of it, but actually also competing in it. And your song actually won. And your artist has actually moved on and is doing more. So that brings us back to full circle of your background being, with music. So tell us a little bit about that and how it must feel to bring your passion into this world that you're now monetizing and working in, but you actually get to enjoy some of what you really have in your heart.
Well, the sampler was that was a great idea. That was mainly inspired by Boo Bangers. We were over on Altspace, and me and me and Boo Bangers had a beat battle in which I lost. You know what I'm saying? So I lost the first one.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
We're not going to talk about exactly. We're not going to talk about that. But, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to get that rematch going, though. We're going to definitely have to get that rematch going. But yeah. So once the initial event was over, we did it with Nina Crease's Past the Meta Arcs, and so after that, Boomerangers was like, "Yo, I got this idea, man. How about we bring this as a competition, on the platform?" And I was like, "Man, that's a real good idea." So we put the idea together, built the world and stuff, and from day one when it aired, it ended up becoming a platform favorite. It just took off. It just took off on its own. All the people that the different producers and artists and stuff that we've met on there. It's been a beautiful journey. And so we now we do have an episode that is coming back. Is it this weekend or is it next weekend? Hold up there, cuz I think it's I think it's this weekend, I believe. Double check. Yes, it is. So the next season, season 7, starts this Saturday. Starts, I believe,
Okay.
this Saturday. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? So yeah,
wonderful. And
so
that's right
you might
here
want
in
to tune in for
VRC.
that. Yes, that
That's
is
right in here.
strictly over here in VRC. Yep.
Okay. So
So yeah,
everybody,
Tampa's
you
been
want to go
fun.
check that out? Love that. So let's talk about if anybody in here, now that they've seen some of your work, we've talked about what you're doing. So joining your Patreon is one of the best ways to get some of your work available for them to enjoy, to have a home space to land on in here, to maybe have a place that you can host your own events or private parties. But also, if somebody was interested in having you create something custom for them, what's the best way for them to reach out to you? Would that be on your Instagram?
Oh yes, that would definitely be on my Instagram. Yes. That's Instagram.com and at Kipp_VR. Yep. Right there on the
Yes, we
screen.
have that right up there on the screen. And again, we're going to put all of this information into the Discord. Our Discord is at Crypto City VR. So if you aren't already on the Discord, please go, feel free to join it. We always post all of the takeaways from the show at the end. There'll be resources in there throughout the season. There'll be some links for different things like we talk about during the episode. And we'll definitely put Kipp's contact information in there if you'd like to follow him on Instagram if you're not already doing so. And then they can reach out to you directly. So tell us, what is next for you in VR? Do you see yourself continuing along the world building and custom creations with avatars and buildings and everything, or do you also see something else you might want to branch out into?
Well, I do want to branch out. However, right now, what's next is that I'm trying to get the Kipp VR brand to a point to where I can bring in more builders, world moderators, Discord moderators, and be at a level to where not only if they want to quit their day jobs, they could quit their day jobs and come into VR and just have fun and make money while you're doing it. Because
Love
VR is
that.
not going anywhere. You hear a lot of you hear a lot of stuff, what I'm saying, about VR, about them trying to shut it down and they're saying, oh, this is not going to last. But just like those cell phones that we have, our smartphones, it's not going anywhere. And in the next 10 years, there won't be any home that doesn't have either a VR or AR device. It's they're going to be just as common as our phones, so it's not going nowhere. So currently right now, like a lot of my friends that's in here have heard me say time and time again that we're at ground zero. We're at the forefront of this technology taking off. So
True.
you want to establish a foundation now, establish that foundation now in this space, because once it takes off and it starts getting saturated, what I'm saying, and things of that nature, people are going to wish, just like with Bitcoin, that they had bought a couple of coins. So
Yeah, if you just pay attention
invest
at the
time.
round. I mean,
Invest
even
time.
the other day, Metaday had posted about how, they're offering jobs out there starting, $300,000 for some of this AI work. And it's just amazing. And, are you going to wake up tomorrow, go land yourself a job? Not like that, probably. You're going to have to invest some time in learning. You're going to have to, there are maybe some things you could walk into to get in on the ground level and grow with it. But I definitely recommend that, you pay attention to what's happening out there and get yourself, at least acquainted and comfortable with the things that I will tell you an amazing story. Last week, I had gotten a call from my aunt who's 75 years old, and she reached out to me and she said, I have an Oculus. I have a MetaQuest, and my cousin had bought it for her and said, "Here, I got you this so you can play with this while you're sitting at home all the time," because she had hurt her leg and she can't walk so well right now. She doesn't know how to use it. My cousin gave it to her and walked away and said, "Here you go." So it was kind of funny. So I said, "Well, what if I come and show you?" And she was like, "Oh, I would love that." And it was such a great experience for me to not only go over there and help her get it set up, because it was a nice bonding moment for me and her, but to watch her face, the expression when she put on the Oculus, and I'm old school. It's still an Oculus to me. It'll always be an Oculus. But, she put it on and she was in that, your little home space in the Oculus home screen. And she was like, oh my God, there's mountains and there's a sun and I have a little tiki bar and she was amazed and she was in the home screen. And I was like, I loved seeing the thrill that she got out of that and how excited she was. And, she's not, looking to get in here and monetize. She's looking to come in here and just enjoy it. But you know what she needs? She needs the world builders to make the experiences for her to come in and enjoy. So it's a full cycle. You need each other, but at the same time, this is, when you say this isn't going anywhere, if somebody of that age and lifestyle is thinking that this is going to be fun for them to do, then it's going to keep going. You know what I mean? It's not like when we all got our smartphones and our parents were like, oh, it's ridiculous. I can barely still use the one on the wall. Things are moving fast now. Things are moving really quickly. I mean, from the time we came into VR till now, think of all of the different technology that's incorporated here that we just take for granted now as part of coming in every day. So, I mean, I definitely agree with you. This is not going anywhere.
So even with the little kids, with those kids, they can, they'll take your phone, they'll take your tablet. They know how to work the tablet and the phone better than you do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So this is definitely not going anywhere. So so buckle up and just enjoy the ride. And if you're creative and you want to create, don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid. Just do it. Just do it.
I'd like to open up the floor now. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to ask Kipp a question, there's a platform in the front there. If you come over and stand on that, you'll be amplified. If you'd like to talk to Kipp and ask a question,
Key is not allowed.
Feel free. Don't be shy.
Key.
Oh, anybody except Key. Key is not allowed to come up here and ask a question. Anyone else? And the audience found that hilarious. So, but yes, if anyone has any questions about, Kipp's journey or any of the things he's doing right now, please feel free to ask. I'm excited to see all the things you have coming out. I'm a member of your Patreon. And, for those of you who aren't familiar with Patreons, any of our viewers out there, it's a way of supporting the artist for the work that they're doing, for the creations that they're coming out with, and giving them, a means to continue doing all of these creations and showing them that you appreciate the work that they do. Most Patreons out there have different levels that you can get in on. Some of them are not that expensive, and then they go up to very expensive. So if there's somebody out there doing some work that you really appreciate, feel free to go on and see if they have a Patreon and support them in that way. And they appreciate it, and it keeps work coming out to us. I mean, the more we support people like yourself and, all the other people on the Patreons, then the more cool things come out into the community for us to enjoy.
That's true. And even I am a Patreon as well. So there are a lot of creators that's on Patreon that I support. So it definitely keeps that economy, circling. We want everything to come back full circle. So give to receive and receive to give.
And with that comment, there's also the fact that a lot of you builders work together. When you're creating something and you have a question, you reach out and talk to each other and say, hey, I'm doing this. And that's great.
And that's what I want to do more of, like between like Meta Jackie and DJ Marcus, and also Lux VR. You know what I'm saying? We're in Dub. I cannot forget Dub. You know what I'm saying? We just want to. I just want to work with other creatives and builders and stuff, man. To create something phenomenal. Give people a grand experience, and we're trying to do that for New Year's, so be on the lookout for that. We want to put together something great for New Year's. So we'll see how
that'll be exciting. That'll be very exciting.
Oh yeah, might have to get Sherwin though to probably host that thing if he's in here. You know what I'm saying?
He's up there. He's hearing you.
Okay.
It'll be like Dick Clark's rockin' New Year's Eve. It'll be Sherwin's rockin' New Year's Eve.
Right. Oh yeah.
Well, if nobody has any questions, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out tonight. I appreciate all of your support of Crypto City, and I hope that you're going to join us next week when we have Aussie Guy 92, who's here in the audience tonight. He will be on here to talk about his journey and some of the things that he has coming up in the near future as well. And, you know, this season we've got a lot of great people coming in. We've got Miggy Sellis coming back on. You know, we are going to try and branch out into a bunch of different areas. You know, I want to, you know, we're going to stay focused on all of the essentials, but there are some really cool things happening in VR and in the metaverse that I think, even though they might not be as technical, they're worth mentioning because all of us are in here all of the time. So I think, you know, some of that is going to come to light as well over the next, you know, few weeks. We have Boss Leo coming on at one point. I have Nathan coming on. Nathan is he's somebody that I met back when I used to host Yummy NFTs. He creates music and NFTs, and he's pushing both of those out. He's going to be on in a couple of weeks as well. So we definitely have some interesting characters coming on to talk to us about all the cool things that they're doing. And I hope to see all of you there. Bring a friend next time. We can handle it here in this amazing world that Kipp built.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming on tonight and sharing your journey with us. Like I said,
Well,
completely looking forward to what comes next. And thank you again for our new home space.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome, and thank you for having me. You know what I'm saying? And thank you to every one of you who gave a damn. You know what I'm saying? Who see the talent in your boy. You know what I'm saying? And came out to support. I appreciate you so much. You have no idea.
Well, you are a community favorite, Kipp. We all love you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I love y'all too.
We'll see you guys all next week. Thank you so much for coming out again. Appreciate you.